I get it. Like, I get
Hmm.
why people have such a connection to this music because it feels like it's speaking to you. It feels like you are having that experience being in high school or university or that first love or that like really coming into your own as of a person. You feel like this is almost nostalgic in a way where it feels like it's talking to the experiences that you've had. And I think that's what really shines throughout Taylor's writing, throughout all of her songs and the way she laid out the set list of this film, that you just feel like you are like, yeah, I know what she's talking about.
One of my favorite songs before this was "I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In," and man, when that
Mhm.
kicked in, I was like, uh, and then everyone was like, "Sir, that's not how to dance to Taylor Swift." And then I was
Sir,
like,
please
"Oh,
do not dance
sir,
like
please."
that.
They asked me to leave. They're like, "Get out of here, sir. How dare
Yeah,
you?"
and we were the only ones in our row too, but they're like, "No, no, no,
They're
you
like,
need to leave."
"Hello and welcome to the movie podcast review of Taylor Swift: The Eras Tour." My name is Shahbaz, and of course, I'm joined by my fellow Swiftie. I would say, Daniel, would it be fair to say? I also said your name. Would it be fair to say we weren't Swifties really before this film?
So here's the thing, Shabazz. I think it's entirely accurate to say that we were not Swifties going into this film,
Right.
but leaving this movie,
Different story.
we're 100%. We are 100% on the Swiftie wagon. We're so happy to be here. I wish we had friendship bracelets to hand out to everybody, but what I can give you for those watching this on YouTube is a big heart. So I could give you all my love.
That's all. Again, the budget has gone insane. Thank you so much to Taylor Swift. She probably sent some of her
It's
money
Taylor
our
Swift for
way.
sponsoring this episode.
She was sponsoring this episode. She's like, these two guys, two dudes, they need to talk
Yeah.
about this movie because I can't wait to hear
This
what they
is
have
the
to say.
movie that Daniel and Shabazz need to watch. This is what the movie podcast needs to talk about.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, Shabazz, you
Yes.
look at the Eras Tour and
Yeah.
you look at what this film is going to be doing, it's going to be a huge catalyst of change in Hollywood.
It
And we've
already
already
is.
seen other artists following suit with Beyonce, with Renaissance, which we're 100% going to watch. And it also gives me like a nostalgia for like the pay-per-view era, that era of having concert films and seeing the spectacle and seeing this live performance. The reality is not a lot of people, or a lot of people are going to be going to these shows, but there's going to be a lot of people who aren't able to afford it or who aren't able to go. And to have this experience while she is doing the show live, it feels like this is a stop on her tour, and it's really cool.
It really is, and it's a great experience. I mean, right now we're dealing with just inflated concert ticket prices. It's insane. Like I can't remember the last time I went to a concert. This was such
Yeah.
a cool way of getting to be there, but also feel the atmosphere of the crowd because it wasn't like your regular screening. People weren't just sitting there quietly. No, people were dancing,
No.
getting up, and it really felt not only acceptable, but it felt totally wanted. Like I wanted to see people get up and dance and just completely have a good time. Like I was part of La La Land or something.
Yeah, I literally felt like I was some part of something bigger than myself, and same with you. And I think when we got there, we were just like, okay, we were, so here's the thing: this screening that we went to is the opening night screening. It was technically the Thursday night screening because this was a late addition to the calendar, right? Not a lot of places were showing this film on the Thursday. So Cineplex here in Canada, and I know in AMC and Cinemark in the States, they added a Thursday show the same day. So our theater wasn't as packed as tonight's going to be, or the weekends are going to be in the weeks to follow. But it was still such an incredible atmosphere. People were just singing to the screen like they were at a concert. And I think after the first few songs, we started just singing along too and
Yeah.
clapping and applauding after every song and cheering. It felt so fun. Like it was just like such a fun environment to be part of.
Yeah, and we don't even know all the songs really. Like we knew the hits that were on the radio. So whenever those were coming on, we were jamming. And then whenever something we didn't know was on, we were like, yo, this is a vibe. Like I'm feeling this. Like I'm just
Yeah.
having a good time. Like Taylor's stage presence is so amazing. Not only is she speaking directly to the audience that's surrounding her, but also to us beyond the screen. I think that's so important that she was able to distinct these two kind of mediums, these two audiences to have the same cohesive experience, minus the sweating. I think that's the only thing that we were missing.
Minus the sweating. Yeah, I'm excited to talk more about it. I know there's a lot we have to get through, but there's I'm really excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. And of course, we are the Movie Podcast. You can follow us every single social media website out there at the Movie Podcast. We also have a Discord channel that you can join right down below over there. We're going to be talking about the movie. No spoilers, of course. I don't know if that's such a thing because you can literally Google the entire set list online. So that,
Yeah,
I mean,
and you've seen the show on
you've seen
TikTok.
this
I'm
on
sure
TikTok.
you've seen
Absolutely.
every single angle of the show.
Yeah.
You've seen already, but yeah,
Yeah, absolutely
definitely.
crazy. There's a lot of great stuff, and of course, you can follow Daniel and I on Letterboxd as well, where we log all our movies and our reviews as well. Daniel, this is directed by Sam Wrench, and there's such a cinematic taking to this. That's what I absolutely loved about it.
Definitely, and I think, you're looking at a concert film, and I grew up buying DVDs for, buying DVDs of a bunch of bands that I always loved, or I have a bunch of like Paul McCartney ones, or just these ones that you'd watch on TV because you have these performances that feel larger than life. And I think the Eras Tour, which is just such a brilliant name, and you look at what Taylor's been able to do with taking back her voice, taking back her songs and her catalog, and re-releasing new versions. One of the things that I loved that we spoke about last night, Shay, while watching the film, is that it's wild to think, Taylor was talking and she was telling, us listening that like this is almost like 20 years of my life that I've been writing these songs. And it's so interesting being able to go back and revisit songs that she wrote early on in her career and now revisiting them as an adult. You sing them differently. You have a different like cadence to your voice. You have a different, history that you've gone through. So you're now singing them through the filter of a person who's just kept evolving and changing their sound and also just changing as a person. And I think that's what I really loved going through all the different eras of this show. It was really cool.
Absolutely. I think, you look at songs and they're always just chapters in our life. And
Yeah.
these songs really were when I was in high school and then coming out of high school. And I know same for you. And they pivot to moments that might have not been the most significant, but it's like I remember that. And this song is taking me right back to it. It was Taylor Swift was super popular. Like what can we say? And she's even more popular right now. She could solve a lot of world problems just by the flick of her wrist.
Yeah, I think so. I think she could like whatever if she could tweet out or just post a video about and
Yeah.
whatever it is in the world. Like she has that power. And I think it's really been this year again. We've known Taylor to be just an astronomical star
Yes.
for the last decade plus, but it really feels like this Eras Tour put her into a different league. And
Oh,
to
it's
see
stratosphere.
how many shows she's doing, to see, I mean, for us here in Toronto, next year she's coming for 6 shows. Rumor is they're adding 2 more. And it's like it's absolutely madness. Like not even like Drake or The Weeknd. And again, I know different worlds, but like, and I'm talking about them being the hometown heroes for us here. Taylor is just like, no, I got 6 nights,
I got
and
Toronto.
that still isn't enough to satisfy, the hunger of people wanting to see her. And being there last night, you get it. Like you feel like I was saying, you feel like you are part of something bigger, and you just feel the energy of the crowd. And like I was thinking, I'm like, man, like this would be so fun to go see one day this weekend when every showing up is sold out,
Yeah.
because it just people just want to be there, they want to have fun, they want to sing. And I'm excited. Like I mean, it's up to you if you want to talk about it now. I know this is a bit of a different a different discussion for us because it's hard to really review
It's
a
hard to review a
concert film
concert film.
like we would like another type of film that we would
Yeah.
do. But what I really loved about just the energy of being there was like the theater etiquette was a bit different yesterday, right? And I
Yes.
think that's something that for those who don't go to theaters often, you may be wondering like, is it okay to sing out loud? Is it okay to pull out your phone? Again, pulling out your phone, that's a different story, and recording I'm sure people are going to do that.
Yeah.
But singing and dancing along, I'm like, yeah, go for it. Be yourself. Like this is I feel like the most safest place of going to watch a movie. And I think for us, Shay, we felt a little worried going in because we were just like, okay, we feel like a little bit of the outsiders going in to watch this,
We
right? Like
look
we're like,
narcs going in there, by the way.
yeah, could we join like the
Yeah.
club just for tonight? And as soon as we got there, even the Cineplex employee who was a huge Swiftie,
Oh yeah.
as soon as we approach the theater, they're like, "Hey, can we take your picture with the sign outside? We take your like asking us because
Yeah.
they wanted to make it an important experience." And I think that's what the Swifties have really, done is making sure everyone hopefully has a great experience and has that memory preserved for them, right? And everyone in the theater just felt like they were having a great time.
And everyone, like, it hasn't even been that long since we got to experience something like this. You look back to Barbie that came out in the summer. This was
Yeah.
a very similar experience. People were dressed up. They were dressed all shiny or wearing
Yeah.
like big cowboy boots or whatever it is. And
Yeah,
it's
like what
like,
was your Eras Tour outfit?
what
You know
was
what I
your
mean?
Eras Tour outfit?
I wish we had one. I should have worn this shirt because it's nice and shimmery and shiny,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
I didn't have my shimmery shiny shirt on me. It was at the dry cleaner, so I
It was in the
couldn't.
wash.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. But I mean, yeah, it would have been awesome to just kind of pull up and have. I wasn't even sure if people were going to be there because when we were looking at these tickets because they dropped so late, there weren't that many seats sold. It was only when we got there people were showing up. And something that I want to remind everybody is, and I don't know
Yes.
how it's going to be like in other countries, but just as a reminder, this movie is being distributed usually by the biggest chain cinema in your region. So we have Cineplex theaters here in Canada, we have AMC theaters in the States, and Cinemark in Europe. So that means there might not be a lot of trailers before it starts. If you're thinking, cool, I'll be outside getting some popcorn and drinks, and I don't want to miss the beginning of it. Try to get your seat as soon as you possibly can because our screening started within 6 minutes. 6 to 7 minutes
Yeah.
of its posted time. So that was pretty quick. And we luckily didn't get to miss, but there were a lot of people coming in. They were like, ah, damn it, we missed the first 30 songs she played because I think it was a 600 song set list, right?
30 songs, that's almost the whole set list, man.
But she did. It was 600 songs she did. I don't know how she was. At one point, she was like la 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 la, and just strumming, and I was like, oh,
She was just making stuff up on the spot,
yeah.
No, but
She was just
but
reading
that's so
people's
true though.
shirts.
It's funny you mentioned Barbie because now I'm going to mention Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Oppenheimer was another one that for so many
yeah.
screenings of it was like, it show up on time because the movie is starting like within minutes
Oh, yeah.
of that showtime. So and it's interesting because Taylor's release for these films as well too is that she's only showing them on the weekends, which I think is a
For 4 weekends,
brilliant
you said,
stroke
right?
of genius because 4 weekends right now or 4 weekends going forward most likely will be extended
Probably.
uh because every showing of this experience is going to be packed. It's going to be full. And I think it's going to feel like a concert experience. And that's what it felt like. Sometimes when you're watching these concert films, the angles that you'll see, or even the videos, because if you're watching this right now on YouTube or you're listening to this on a podcast feed, we know that you've seen Taylor Swift concert videos on TikTok or on Instagram, or wherever you follow, because you can't escape them. They're everywhere. But what the Eras film does so well is that it gives you that VIP experience. It feels like you are on the stage with her. You're getting the best angles and it's the best like bang for your buck. I mean, this was $20. And when you think about spending $20 to go to the movies, I'm like, that's pretty much average price now. That's an event film ticket. I
Mhm.
wish we got to see this in IMAX, but we'll talk about that soon when we kind of talk about the set design and everything.
Mhm.
But being there, spending that money, I felt like we got our money's worth.
Yeah.
And again, this was not a press screening for this film. This is something that we went out to go watch. Unfortunately, Anthony wasn't available to go watch it with us last night, but he 100% wanted to be there.
He's the
Because
biggest
this
Swiftie
felt
out of
like
all of us.
he was the biggest Swiftie out of all of us.
Yeah, his
But
middle
I
name
think
is
we've
Taylor.
usurped him now.
Yeah.
It's well,
And his-
he's not here to
and-
correct that. So
and
we
I know
can't,
his last name looks like it says Giliardi, but it's actually pronounced Swift. Weird.
Swiftly already. Oh, that's
Swiftly.
very
Swiftly. That
Wh-
sounds
what part of Italy are you from?
the really quick part of Italy.
Yeah, I'm from the fearless regions
Oh.
of
The
Italy.
old folklore.
Yeah, I'm bringing in some Taylor lore now. So
my
let's
goodness.
talk about the lore. I mean, I think Taylor Swift. That's something that we've always heard about her music, and again, we're going to this familiar with her songs. My high school experience really was the Fearless era. Was the the love? Was it Lover? Not Lover. Sorry, it was the her Speak Now,
Mhm.
and it was the Fearless era. Like those were the big albums when I was in high school. Um, but I think storytelling has always been something that's been prevalent throughout all of her music. And I think watching it last night really gave me that perspective because you felt like I was transported watching this. It felt like I was seeing the story in my head. And I think that's what like made me really have it click last night for me, Shay, where it was just like, I get it. Like I get
Mhm.
why people have such a connection to this music because it feels like it's speaking to you. It feels like you are having that experience being in high school or university or that first love or that like really coming into your own as of a person. you feel like this is almost nostalgic in a way, where it feels like it's talking to the experiences that you've had. And I think that's what really shines throughout Taylor's writing, throughout all of her songs, and the way she laid out the set list of this film, that you just feel like you are like, yeah, I know what she's talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you kind of look back to the stage design and everything that kind of transpired there, I got to ask you, like, what was your favorite moment? What was your favorite kind of set design? I know for myself, it was folklore. Like, I thought the house and everything that she kind of had there, it really worked, and it just looked cool as it transitioned from moment to moment.
Yeah, Folklore looked incredible. I think when she was singing, like "You Belong with Me" and "Love Story," and like the stage just turning into a giant acoustic guitar, because
Right.
again, it all has the vibes of whatever her era was. But definitely Folklore, I think, stands out the most for me. But then going into 1989 and then seeing again, it all builds on upon each other. So when you see the
Hmm.
set of like the house from that, and then you go to 1989, you get to Bad Blood, and then like stuff starts going on fire.
Yeah.
Everything they're like, there's such a through line of storytelling throughout the visuals that's really impressive. And I think, again, as someone who's coming into this who knows her music, but really I feel like connected with it for the first time yesterday. Like we're really like I like it clicked. I was just like, this is so cool seeing this connecting with one another and the storytelling through visuals all intersecting and telling that story on stage. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. The presentation was phenomenal, and I think just the way they were able to bring this concert cinematically, all I wanted after this was more concerts in theaters, because there's so many
Yes.
fantastic concerts I've gone to that I'd love to relive somehow. And I'm telling you right now, the cell phone recording that you've made, that I've made at a concert, doesn't do it justice. That that's like the
No.
worst. I never go back to revisit those because I'm like, oh my god, I can't hear anything
Yeah.
or see anything.
Like honestly, after watching this, I was just like, man, like I think back to concerts that I've gone to, and obviously a lot of people film it, and that's
Yeah,
part of it. But as I've gotten older, try and film less. Like I'll get like
yeah,
maybe a part of my favorite song, and then you just want to be there because those
yeah,
memories of being there will last longer. And then hopefully you'll get a concert film like this that will come out and be like, yeah, like that's the best. That's how you're going to remember it in your head
yeah.
when you're there in that atmosphere. Then you have the concert film. But again, I think it was just such a stroke of brilliance that she released this while her tour is going on,
Oh,
because it feels like tour stops, right? And I
yeah.
really think this is going to change how, people plan their tours going forward, how artists and bands and musicians will have hopefully a show in theaters to watch during the tour. But also, she went right to the movie theaters. She did not cut in any studios to these
No.
deals, right? And
So
I think
smart.
that's what's so brilliant too. So now she has the theatrical distribution. I'm curious, do you have any predictions on where the streaming home of this tour will be? I don't think we'll get it until after the tour is officially done,
Yeah.
in terms of like for it to be able to watch at home, because
Y
it's like, no, you go to the theater to watch it or you go
yeah.
see her live. But I'm curious, do you think it's going to end up on a streamer? And if it does, which one do you think it will end up on?
I think it'll end up on a streamer. I can man, there's something about Netflix that whenever I think of live major events, they seem to kinda have a good grip on that kinda stuff.
Hmm.
I feel like Netflix is a really cool home. That, or where you kind of pointed me in the direction of, was pay-per-view, and when I think of pay-per-view, I think of HBO. And when I think of
Yeah.
HBO, I think of also big comedy specials, big concerts as well, and I can totally see
Yep.
Max or something like that getting it, or HBO Go, or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how she takes it, because like you said, like I said, you feel enveloped. You feel like you're at the show. What do you think? Where
Yeah.
do you think it's gonna
And
go?
I think, like, honestly, for me, I think it would be such a stroke of brilliance if Apple tries to get it, because I
Yeah,
think of like
music.
Apple and I think of Apple Music, and I just think about how they are very artist focused like that and attracted
And
to the big
Taylor has a
brands.
history with Apple Music as well, right?
Exactly. So I could see either. So there's the two that I think it's going to go to. If it doesn't go to like, I know HBO, and I think that's a great choice. But for me, I think it's going to either go to Apple or it's going to go to Disney Plus, because you look at uh, for two very different reasons. You look at Disney Plus for the install base. You look at for them having a very much appeal to all ages. They have concert films on there already,
Hmm.
and I think they have some Taylor Swift content on Disney Plus already too.
So does Netflix,
But
right? They have the
now,
documentary.
and That's true. Netflix does as well too. But yeah, I see Disney or I see Apple for
Yeah.
where this experience is going to land.
Yeah, yeah. My only concern with Disney is I feel like they like to be in charge from the beginning. Like they like right from the get
Yes.
go, they're
That's a
like,
great that's a
it
great
needs to
point.
be our thing. So I'm curious, but I
Yeah.
mean, also, why would you pass up on a bag like that? At the same time.
Yeah, you could even do like what Elton John did, and he had like a live stream of a concert
Hmm.
too. So you
That was
never
really
know if
cool.
she does like a live version specifically for Disney Plus, and they do it live that night. But Shay, I know we spoke about our favorite set design, and
Right.
you said yours was folklore.
Folklore. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite set in the look for it was 1989. But do you have a
Mm.
favorite song of the night? Because I'm curious, was there a song
Song of
that
the night.
really
Oh
hit with you?
boy.
Yeah, song of the night for you.
Uh maybe style.
Style, yeah, style
Yeah,
hit.
style
Style really
style
hit.
hit, and then also one of my favorite songs before this was I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In, and man, when that
Mhm.
kicked in, I was like, and then everyone was like, "Sir, that's not how to dance to Taylor Swift." And then I was
Sir,
like,
please
"Oh,
do not dance
sir,
like
please."
that.
They asked me to leave. They're like, "Get out of here, sir. How dare
Yeah,
you?"
and we were the only ones in our row too, but they're like, "No, no, no,
They're
you
like,
need to leave."
"This is the
Uh,
non-dancing row." Oh, weird. How you have that?
uh, for me, I would say "All Too Well," the 10-minute version,
Okay, yeah,
really
yeah,
hit
yeah.
because I was just like, "Oh my god, this was like incredible how it goes from like song
It
like
just
part to part to part in that song."
it just kept going, and I was like, "Dude, it's been a long time. This is killing it."
It's been a long time. Also, "Cruel Summer" was another one that
Big
I
track,
think just really hit live.
big tune.
Big track. Uh, I'm just absolutely blown away. I'm excited to give our our final thoughts on this one.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to quickly say, like,
Yeah,
I can see more theaters now going after artists to be like,
I
listen,
hope.
because
I
the
really hope.
theaters need this. They luckily know that this is going to be solid money for them no matter what. It's not like trying to go for, okay, we hope a big blockbuster movie comes. This is like, no, we know we can get an artist, we know we can get them to record their concert. Let's start going after them and gaining that revenue. So I think we're going to start to see a
Yeah,
lot more of this. I mean, we're
because
already
it's like
seeing
at
it.
the end of the day, it's not like again, her tour is very expensive, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, like her tour, but also her tour has been breaking records, and I think it's his highest sales in a single day for an artist.
sure.
So like it's wild how much money the tour is making. So like
Hmm.
to put something like this together, where there's already somebody probably on a switcher putting it together as a show's going on, and the amount of work that her and her team puts into the choreography, the dancers, the backup singers, the stagecraft people,
Right.
all the work is being done already to show live. You get some cameras to cover it all. You're not spending hundreds of millions of dollars to make something else. You are having the money that you spent already on this tour, and now you're going to get a huge other revenue stream for it because this is Endgame levels money. This is Spider-Man No Way Home level money
Right.
that we're going to be seeing for the next 4 weeks and most likely longer.
Absolutely. Yes, let's get to our final recommendations for this wonderful concert experience. Daniel, I'll have you kick it off.
This is the highest watch it. Go watch this. Go take your family. Go have fun. Even if you're not a Swiftie, even if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, there is so much here for you. And I absolutely felt like I was having a euphoric experience watching this. It's a spectacle through and through. She puts on a damn incredible show. And I truly think this is one of the most impressive live shows that I've gotten to witness, on the big screen. And, if I could get tickets somehow without having to sell my house and to sell the rights to the movie podcast, I'm gonna try and get tickets to go see this in Toronto next year because I think seeing a show like this live, seeing it in the theaters gave me all the feels. I can only imagine how incredible it would be in person. Go watch it. You'll have an incredible time with it. Taylor Swift delivers in a huge way, and it's worth your time.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, man. This is the highest watch that I can give it as well. Really good time, really good experience. Again, if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, try to just put all your bias and hate aside and just go watch it. And honestly, you may find some love and happiness through it because the vibes are really good. You totally feel it. This is a dazzling cinematic concert experience that you're just going to keep wanting to watch over and over again because it's going to give you the feels. It's going to make you feel happy, and it's just a really damn good time. Of course, Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour will be in theaters today, October 13th. We've dropped a lot of great reviews, so make sure you keep checking out our channel on everything. We have Spotify, we have Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube, where you can see us have special effects. We do balloons and hearts. because the budget just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I think one of the things that I loved so much about last night, dude, was there's a moment in the movie where there's just a lot of fireworks.
Fireworks? Is that
And
how
if
you did
you
it? Is that how you
no,
get
I
the
had to.
fireworks?
I can't tell you the secrets because then the budget will be exploded. You know, we can't have that
There we
happen.
go. Okay. I appreciate it. But I also like that you dropped Dazzling in your final recommendation because I'm like, is she playing Dazzler in Deadpool 3? Most likely. I'm here
We'll
for
have
it.
to
Sign
find
me up.
out, and we can't wait to see more. Of course, you can join our Discord, have a great conversation with us in there. Leave a comment wherever you can, and we'd love to read it. That was This Time with the Movie Podcast, and we'll see you next.